Yes, they're calling it civil war here in the West. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to a history-making, wonderfully warm day here in Western Australia as the Fremantle Dockers take on the reigning champions, the West Coast Eagles, on a brand new look Subiaco ground here in Perth.
In the lead up to a derby, Perth gets pretty full on.
Geographically, the Swan River divides the city, but then we add another emotional layer.
During the week you have a few people come up to you and wish you luck, or not so much luck if they're West Coast supporters.
I can only imagine how many bets go on, cartons of beer change hands.
When you win, or if you win, you get all the phone calls from the mates thanking you that they're going to have a good night on the grog.
What you might say to someone ends up at Fremantle, and what Fremantle say down at Fremantle ends up at West Coast. The chairman of selectors have said this, Fremantle have already booked a place to celebrate their win.
I don't think anyone in Victoria will really understand it unless you've played and lived in Western Australia.
Being a Victorian come over to Western Australia, it was a big eye-opener for me.
Pushing and shoving up, that now ball running in. Someone's seen something they haven't liked there.
Fans go for Josh Cole. Both of them getting involved, and now we've got a full-on derby melee.
I've been out in Melbourne a few times and you see the different clubs mingling around. It definitely isn't the case over in Perth.
Yeah, we respect Freo as anyone else, and I'm sure they're great blokes.
You don't want to be seen having too long of a chat to a Fremantle player.
Heavyweights, and Gardner is leading with that left. Pavlich is going after him.
Trust are enjoying it as much as we are. Shammer towards Carr. Somehow Kerr emerged with the football. Carr slaps it to the line. A bit more niggle. It's against Carr. You can't do that.
When the Dockers joined the competition, the Eagles were, if not at the height of their powers, certainly right up there.
The first game was all over in the first 10 minutes, I reckon. Johnny Worsfold made sure of that.
So from the start, it was a bit like the Eagles didn't want to be knocked off their perch by the young new team, and took a lot of pride in that.
Ferocity of the approach from John Worsfold and the players was something to behold. We won that game, but it was always going to be a ferocious match, and I think it hardened up Fremantle as well. When
I first got to Freo, we were a little bit of the whipping boy. We hadn't won a derby.
We just bullied them for the first 9 or 10 derbies. We were undefeated, and they got sick of it. They got sick of getting sand kicked in their face.
The older players that were sick of getting pushed around.
Dale Kickett, Shane Parker, Sean McManus, Adrian Fletcher, Daniel Bandy, James Clement, a lot of guys that I initially started my playing career with drove the rivalry because they were a part of a really losing history against West Coast for so long.
After the disappointments of 9 consecutive Western derbies, they are going to prevail. 119 to 72. It's in the book. A smile of satisfaction.
Yeah, when we won the first derby, I suppose the monkey was off the back, off Freo's back, and once you get that monkey off your back, you start growing a lot of belief.
No, I don't know if they ever got over it, because it was, I don't think it was one of the most joyful losses of all time, put it that way. I do remember my kids not wanting to go to school. It opened up a new mindset for me to say, well, we are now setting up a rivalry that is as good as anything going around.
Finally got that monkey off the back, and then the following year, well, they felt they got to back it up, and they went the knuckle, and that's when the Demolition Derby started.
Again, the temperatures are flying, so the players very, very aggressive. Day or kick it has just thrown the cover. Look at this, Dennis.
Sparks go off, and unfortunately, and everyone's sort of running around and waiting for their wick to get lit, and I reckon at a particular stage, I think it was on the half-forward flank, and the Kickety might have got challenged by Phil Reid, or it might have been Andrew Embley maybe, and that was enough to set him off.
Kickety was never one to stand back and take a backward step, so he was one that got on the front foot.
It was almost like Fremantle putting a line in the sand to say, no, this is it, we're not going to take any more, and if we have to cross the line, we'll cross the line.
Some of those older guys were sick of getting beaten up all the time by the Eagles, and they wanted to go out there and show what Fremantle stood for.
Wasn't something I'd seen in football for a long period of time, other than sort of all the highlights on TV from the old days.
It was a moment where the emotion really did boil over.
Jones to Braun. The Eagles are still trying. Now Kerr
can keep going, and does. And does some more, and some more. Surely he couldn't from 48. Oh, he has!
Yeah, I suppose that just summed Kerry up, just to take the game on, and he had, 5 or 6 bounces probably through the middle of the ground and finished just inside 50.
Yeah, Kerry talks about that non-stop. We can't shut him up about it.
Yeah, Daniel Kerr is one of the most gifted, talented players that I've been able to coach.
He's quite a cocky kid as a 19, 20-year-old Kerry, so we definitely heard a fair bit about it.
Great running ability, and when he took that game on and covered that territory, he was one of the few players who could probably keep making those decisions, that he had that time and space, and that was going to get within range and still be able to finish with the goal.
I've seen the vision of that goal many times. Kerry doing the aeroplane afterwards, so he doesn't mind telling you about it.
Yeah, it's not too often you get to see players run that length of the ground, showing their skill and speed, and fortunately enough he finished it off.
Surely he couldn't from 48. Oh, he has!
He kicked quite a few brilliant goals in his time playing at the Eagles, but that was probably the best.
This is it, last roll of the dice. Fremantle was born. That is the mark of the year.
Mark of the year in 2005.
Luke McPharlin's a very talented player, more so known as beating his opponent in one-on-one contests, but that was a pretty spectacular grab.
Yeah, Luke McPharlin specky over Embers. I can remember a lot of speckies over Embers actually.
We always have a laugh that he's that guy that needs to be the step ladder.
Luke McPharlin right on half-time. Oh, it's magnificent stuff, isn't it?
A long time ago now. It was back in the days where I could still jump and was allowed to go for grabs in defence. I think it was Dean Cox just lobbed in a long ball.
I could see it from a mile away. Luke, having the perfect run up, his launch into the football.
And just saw an opportunity to launch at the ball, and thankfully I hung on to it.
Yeah, he went from McPharlin, which was, I suppose, a good part of his game as a backman as well.
10 seconds. Mazungu. Here we go. Barlow's got to take the mark. Couldn't get it. Knocked over the line. Clock stopped. Deliberate. Shot to the siren. The siren will sound it. Ballantyne. Ballantyne, though. Now the mark will be where the 50-metre line intersects the boundary.
He likes to reel round from this far out. He's got to keep that straight line.
He's going the drop puck from 52 metres out. It's on line. It's there. It's going to the line. It's touched. It's a point. It's a point. Let's listen. It's a point. West Coast have won. West Coast have won by a point.
I was actually down on the goal line, so I think we had Quinton Lynch that was actually on the mark. And looking back on it now in the vision, he allowed him to creep 3 or 4 metres, so sort of knew it hit the post, but was still unsure because waiting for the final decision, and got the result we needed.
Thank God it hit the post. There was many guys telling the goal umpire which way it went, but fortunately for West Coast, it hit the post and we got the win.
For anyone to have a shot after the siren, and certainly in a derby, it adds that extra bit of nervous energy. Yeah, devastating in the end for the result, but yeah, we certainly can't fault Ballas.
West Coast have won by a point in Derby number 34.
In the short term that both teams have been playing against each other, there's certainly been a lot of great highlights, and a game that a lot of people in WA like watching.
They've become a big part of the calendar over here.
It's only very young, being 25 years or so of rivalry, but that's going to continue to grow and probably get stronger.
We've now seen Freo in a grand final and sitting in the top 3 or 4 on the ladder for a few years in a row. So I think everyone says now the early days are gone, now it's an even playing field.
And it's great for footy, great for footy.